Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark podcast. And oh my goodness, I'm super excited for this episode. Why? Because not only are we going to be talking about Facebook ads, and I have the Facebook extraordinaire here. Like, she is absolutely amazing. But not only that, I personally know her because she's in the same mastermind that I've been telling you guys about. And so we have been talking behind the scenes of all the different things that she's been going through as when she kind of built her business, the career she knew she wanted to go into, and all those personal nitty-gritty that we all pretty much face, right? All the different adversities. And I knew I had to have her on this show because, boy, she's been through it. And it's not just you guys. I want to show you that everyone goes through different adversities in their life, in business and in their personal life. And she is like Superwoman. When I heard about her story, I was like, wow, wow, wow. We can all learn from you. And so please welcome to the stage. We have the awesome Aggie.
Oh my goodness, Kay, what an intro. I literally want you in my pocket to cheer me on every day.
You know what? The thing is, you deserve it. I'd be happy to be in your pocket, right? Because I know what you go through. I know what you've been through, right? Because of all the things that you've said to me and told me and your experiences and your journey. And I'm like, wow, like every single one of you in this mastermind are super women because you've got certain skills, certain adversities you've gone through, and it's just amazing to me, right? And so, first of all, I would love for you to share with our audience today a little bit about your background, okay? Like, how did you even get to this point with running, a business that does Facebook ads? So how did that all come about?
So I like to call myself two things, a corporate survivor
Oh,
and an accidental entrepreneur.
okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so I had a bit of an accidental career as well, if I'm honest. Because when I went to university, I studied European politics basically. And
Oh my
if
goodness.
anyone who's not in the UK, in the UK, you can pretty much study anything and then go on to do anything as long as it's not like medicine or law or accountancy or something like that. And I was like, well, I like languages and politics, so I'll just go with it and see what happens.
Oh,
Lived
wow.
for a year with it, and it was all fun and games and fine. And then I did loads of temp jobs. I
Mhm.
worked for a TV station, like in their film buying department. I worked at like an amazing like medical charity for a while, doing fundraising for them, like corporate fundraising. I honestly tried my hat at lots of things, and I was like, I just need money to go traveling. Like I had my heart set on South America, so I was literally doing odds and sods everywhere just to get money to go. And then I was working at this TV station, and I worked for the devil. You know, when you see The Devil Wears Prada, it was like a
Yes.
really unpleasant female boss that I work for.
Oh,
And I have a
wow.
lot to be thankful for. Like, I honestly think everything that has made me unhappy has redirected me to something amazing. So I met my best friend there, like one of my best friends. So that was an amazing thing that came out of it. It was a very glamorous life. I mean, we went to like amazing film premieres. There were perks that were incredible. But
Wow.
every day I was out in hives because this woman was making my life hell.
Oh,
So I was like,
man.
I've had enough. One day I came home because I was living at my parents' house still at this point, and I just booked a trip, one way ticket to like Mexico. My parents were like,
Wait,
okay.
a one-way ticket. So that means you weren't planning on coming back.
I didn't know when I was coming back. I just
Huh.
booked myself on like a single traveler's tour package, like around Central America, and I was like, right, I'm off. And I was like, what have I just done? I'm like quite an impulsive person. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going now. Like, that's it. So
Wow.
handed in my notice, and I was gone for 6 months, and it was honestly the best thing ever. Um,
So
when I
wait,
came,
hold on a second. You were there for 6 months, right? Why did you decide to come back?
because I had no money.
Oh, okay. That's a
It's
good, that's
literally
a
a
good
financial
reason.
decision. If I had money, I would probably never have come back. So this
And
is
so,
when you wish, like, what would my life been like if I was a trust fund baby?
oh, there you go. And so
So
what were you doing out there in Mexico?
traveling. So I literally went from like one tour group to another. Then after I'd been out there for 3 or 4 months, I ended up meeting some friends, like made friends out there. We just ended up traveling a bit further. And I made it to the south of Argentina, and I really had not a penny left to my name by then. I was like, I really need to come home now.
Yeah.
And when I came home, I was like, I am really heavily in debt, actually. I need to get a job, any job that I can get.
Oh,
And
wow.
I had been doing some temp work through an agency in London, because that's where I'm from.
Hmm.
And I just called them. I was like, is there anything you can give me? Like PA work, receptionist work, anything? And they're like, actually, we do have a job that's come up for a team assistant in an investment company. I was like, oh, that sounds like more. I was like, okay, but you know when you're like, I literally have no choice. I just have to
Right.
anything. So
Yeah.
I went and I'll never forget this interview. I was interviewed by two ladies who were like badass. You know, you meet two women and you think you are amazing. They were
Oh,
like really feminine, but like really you could tell like on top of it, like they knew their stuff. And I
yeah.
was like, wow, you guys are amazing. And halfway through the interview, the fire alarm went. So the whole building was evacuated.
Oh, no.
In that
Okay.
time, I was just chit-chatting with the ladies there. And we went back to the interview, and they're like, we actually think you're wasted on that assistant job. I think you're going to be really bored doing it. And I was thinking, I know I will be. I hate being an assistant, but I need the money. And I just said to them, look, I really need money. So please give me the job. And they were like, look, there is another job going and it's in our sales team. And I was like, I do not want to work in sales at all. I said, because I
Mm.
had Wolf of Wall Street in my mind. I was like, I'm not an aggressive salesperson.
Right.
One of my previous jobs before traveling, they'd had a cold called sales team. And that was my impression of it. I was like, no, thank you.
Right.
No offense to anyone who does that as a profession, because it is a skill. It's just not my
Yeah.
strength at all.
Right.
They're like, no, it's not like that at all. Like we have our clients because like there's only so many other institutions you can sell to as an investment company. So they're on our books already. You just have to help like manage their relationships. So, oh, okay, that I can do. That's fine. So I ended up being a junior to the most dysfunctional sales guy in that team. He had burnt
Oh.
through every single assistant, like, you know, basically junior like me. And we
Mm.
got on like a house on fire. I just organised him. And I have actually had a pattern of working with the most dysfunctional male guys in the team and like sorting them out. So anyway, I worked with him and then we all got made redundant. Like, within 2 weeks of me joining, there was an
What?
acquisition. So they were like, yeah, your job's gonna go in a year. And I was like, oh well.
What?
But they gave me a huge payout just for being there. That I mean, even in today's money, it's a lot to be paid out for
Wow.
just being there for a year. And it really help me like pay off like debts and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that was my beginning in a 10 plus year in investment management in sales.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really fun that year, that first year, because
Yeah.
everyone knew that they were leaving anyway. So they just give us loads of money to go out. And yeah, it was great. And I was like, if this is what it's like, it'll be fine. It wasn't like that for the other like 9 years.
So,
But I did make amazing friendships in that
yeah.
career. And I was around such intelligent people. I'm telling you, like they were so bright. It was really interesting to be in on investment meetings, hearing about all the businesses they were investing in and stocks and stuff like that. And I developed incredible client management skills through
Oh,
that career.
wow.
And it's something I didn't really appreciate until I started my own business.
Mm.
So I'd say no experience is a waste. But I did find the further I got in my career, the more established I became, the more senior I became, the more I didn't fit the mold. And I was extremely stressed a lot of the time. I wasn't, there's kind of like a cardboard cutout you need to be to like progress in sales in investment management in the UK. As a
Right.
woman, you need to be extremely skinny. I'm voluptuous, so
Oh,
straight away physically I don't fit. I also
interesting.
I'm not a posho. I'm not posh, like I'm not like from aristocracy and I
Yeah.
went to boarding school, which apparently is a prerequisite, the unwritten rules.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, like no one really knows what to do with you because you're not really the same as everyone else.
Wow.
So I was
Is
like,
that is
yeah.
that going into the modeling world?
Like I mean, sales is a bit. I mean, you've seen Selling the OC, haven't you?
Yes.
They
We,
all
I
look a
think,
certain way.
yeah, most of us have watched that on Netflix, right? And so, yeah, I guess when you put it that way, yeah, your image has got to be a certain way, right? You got to look a certain way. You got to be like a zero, right? And, wearing heels and everything. I don't know how they managed to do that.
Is I wore the suits, I had the heels, and I dressed the part. But I don't know. They were like, "Oh, you're just not made out for sales." And I was like, looking at my company now, I'd say I think I'm all right at it. Honestly, like my biggest lesson, I think, so far has been don't let anyone tell you what you are or what you aren't. Do you know what I mean? Like telling me, oh,
Absolutely.
you're not really a salesperson. It's like, well, if you have your own company, you need to be good at sales. Otherwise, you will never ever have a viable business.
Definitely.
So that's like a bit of a two fingers up to them.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I like
So
it though. I like it. That's really
honestly, but the thing is, I was so broken, like working in that career. Like my confidence was shot to pieces. I was quite badly bullied in one of my roles.
oh
So
wow.
my final role, my boss was also very unsupportive. And I kind of learned a lot of how not to be a boss through the bad experiences I
Right.
had. But I
Yes.
was having like spontaneous allergic reactions because I was so stressed. I had adrenal fatigue. So it got really bad. And I was like, I really need to change my life. I cannot live like this. There's got to be more to life than this. I
Mhm.
mean, I stuck around because I managed to save enough for a deposit on a house in London, which for
Wow.
anyone who knows the London market is not easy to do. I
Right.
enjoyed traveling. I had really nice lifestyle because of my job.
Mhm.
But day to day, I was literally, I had that constant dread in my stomach. And it was so exhausting to be always so stressed. And then I was just about to leave and I
Mm.
found out I was pregnant. And I was like, well, I'm not leaving now. I'm gonna wait until I have my maternity leave. And then before, like, as I was like preparing for my mat leave,
Yeah.
I started being more and more involved with digital marketing because we were such a
Oh,
lean team internally. So I had to get involved in that side of things. And I was like, what is this? This is amazing. Like, this is so interesting. And this
oh
is way
wow.
more interesting than what I'm doing day to day. So I tried to find any excuse I could just to be with the digital marketing girls, just to like learn everything I could from them. And I was like, there's something in this. Like for the first time ever, I'm like intrigued. And I've never been intrigued by anything before ever in my life. So I was like,
Wow.
I need to learn more about this.
Yeah.
So I started like, and I also started listening to a podcast called the Unofficial Shopify Podcast.
Oh wow. Okay. Wait, how long ago was this?
This was a long time. This was like 2018.
Okay. All right. Got it. I'm
The
so
podcast
glad
was good.
that you were listening to a podcast from back then,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
a lot of people were. So that's really intriguing. That's awesome. Okay. So what happened when you started listening to this podcast?
Oh my word. My world was blown open.
How?
Yeah, because it was, I don't know what it's like now because I honestly haven't listened to it since, but it did change my
Okay.
life. I should probably put a review on there if they're still around.
Absolutely.
I think they are still around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because it was all founder stories, which I love. I love to
Yeah.
hear how people, and I guess this is what we're doing, right? How people
Exactly.
set up their businesses, why they did, how like fate sometimes intervenes, and
Yes.
kind of your world changes for like reasons you couldn't see coming, kind of thing. And it was all about people that had just set up online businesses, like online stores with Shopify, and how they had made a lot of money. I was like, this is incredible, like that this is all going on because in the finance industry, it is slow. It's so regulated. It's not very technical. They're about 20 years behind technologically compared to everyone else. It's all very pale, male, and stale, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this is like completely blew my mind. So I was like, I need to do something digital. I know that. I mean, that is the future anyway. So I started doing research and I found the Digital Marketing Institute and they did a postgrad diploma. And I was like,
Ah,
okay, it's all online, which before
mhm.
COVID was pretty unheard of. So I was like, what is it going to be like? Is it going to be good quality education because it's all online? But I mean, it's the Digital Marketing Institute. Like it's the body for digital study in the UK.
Right.
So 6 weeks after I'd had my baby, I was given my redundancy notice. I
Yes.
knew it was coming as well. I like, you just
Mm.
feel it in your gut, it's going to happen.
Wow.
It was like a
Wait,
weight
so
of
by this point, you've been made redundant twice now in your career.
yeah, in finance. I was actually talking to one of my ex-colleagues about it today because she was made redundant for the fourth time in
No
20.
way. What, in the finance industry?
Yeah, they call you every year.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
goodness.
ruthless. So the first time was obviously when I first started out, and that it's actually
Mm.
like quite it's like bookends actually, isn't it, to my finance career? Because it was like when I first started, within 2 weeks of starting, I was told my
Yeah.
job was going, and then I was made redundant on maternity leave, and I left the industry. So yeah, two times,
Wow.
like my beginning and my end, and I've never
Yeah.
realised that before this moment. So yeah,
There you go. Wow.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it's quite a tidy end to that. But
Yeah.
anyway, that was a weight off my shoulders. Honestly, like I was just so relieved that was over.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, it was all a bit dodgy, if I'm honest, to make
Yeah.
someone redundant on mat leave. But with the payout they gave me, I funded my postgrad diploma. So
Amazing.
I was doing that from when my son was 5 months old, and my
No.
husband was doing a career break at the time. So he was doing the childcare and I was studying.
Oh, wow.
So it worked out really well. And it's the first time in my life that I've ever studied something and the time flew. Like I used to go to my local library because I had nowhere to like work at home,
Right.
study the whole day. And it was literally like I just arrived. When I looked up, I was like, oh my God, it's time to go home.
Amazing. So, was it at that point you realized you found your passion?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, this is what it feels like. So I was like, okay, finally. But then I realized I hadn't actually found it.
Oh.
Wasn't until I found ads. That's when I found my passion.
Ah.
So, as part of my postgrad diploma, I had to do a case study on an actual business and do like a digital marketing plan for them, strategy. So, I ended
Right.
up working with like an eco detergent company that didn't have any digital in place. And that
Mhm.
was incredible for me. And I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Like planning out how people can make more money in their
Yeah.
business by having digital marketing. Then, when my diploma ended and I graduated or whatever, COVID hit.
Oh
Okay.
no.
So
Okay.
I graduated in the March, and that is when all the lockdowns started.
Yes.
And
That's right.
my plan had been, and this is why when you look back, and it's only when I talk about it that I realized that every knock actually diverted me to something better. So I was like, right, I had it all planned out in my head. I was gonna
Right.
like graduate, and then I was gonna find there's a really good agency about half an hour drive from where I live. So I was like, I'm gonna apply for a job there. Then I'm gonna do my 9 to 5, so I can drop my son off at nursery before, go
Yeah.
to work, and then finish at 5 and go and pick him up by 6. It was done. Like in my mind, that was what was gonna
Wow.
happen. But COVID happened. And
Mm.
I think everyone can appreciate that the world turned upside down at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And every agency was culling their staff, like everyone was letting staff go. So, like, well, all of our clients have had to shut their businesses, so they're going to cut their marketing. So, we need to cut our staff as well. Little did they realise that the whole world was going online. So, actually, they would need a lot of staff to manage all the work that was going to be coming in. But it made me realise that a lot of agencies were only hiring graduates because they're cheap,
Oh wow.
or people in the early 20s, so maybe have 1 or 2 years experience, again, because they're cheap. And I was
Yeah.
like, I've literally just come out of a 10 plus year career in investment management, which paid me really well. I really couldn't go back to earning under 20K a
Yeah.
year. And I was like, I know the skills I have will earn people so much money. And I was like, also, they were like saying, oh, you'll get a beer fridge and you'll get a ping pong table. And this was the benefits of working there.
What? Wait, that doesn't sound like work.
I was well. It's like a empty perk, right? Because they want to
Yeah.
attract teenagers.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
I
Yeah.
was like, I literally just want to be paid fairly and
Mm.
work just set hours. Not that I'm going to be expected to work till 1 in the morning if there's like a client pitch or something. So I was like, this is not friendly at all for like a early 30s career changer that's just had a baby kind of thing. I was not attractive on paper at all.
Mm.
And I was like, just take a chance on me. Like I am amazing. I
Yeah.
would be such an asset to your company. So I was like, okay, well, that door's closed. Like no one's hiring me. And I was like, I guess I'm just gonna have to set up on my own. So that is what I did.
Oh,
I had no choice. Everyone's like, oh, you were so brave to set up your company. I was like, I literally had no choice. That was my choice. I had to make money, so I had to set up a company. And
but
that
you know
was
what? That's kind of like, again, right? The universe kind of pushing you in a direction that you needed to be in, right? See, this is what I kind of the way I figured it out is like when you're planning right? Things don't always work out because it's not meant to, that's not the plan. That's not the plan that's for
I've
you,
learned
right?
that. I've learned that, yeah.
Right. And then all this kind of adversity happens to you, right?
Mm,
Well, or for you, should I say, because
mm,
it's trying to push you in the direction you should be at,
yeah.
right? And so that's what's happened to you, right? I'm a big believer of that.
Yeah, I also think that something that's been said to me time and time again since I started my business is every rejection is a redirection.
Yes,
And it's
absolutely. I
so
love that.
true. Like at the time, you might not see it, and you
Mm,
might literally be crying yourself to sleep every night because things aren't working out. But then you look back and you're like, ah, that's why that had to happen because this is
yeah.
happened. But yeah,
Yeah.
believe me, I knew nothing about having a business at all. It's been a massive learning curve. I don't think anyone really has like a blueprint for how it's meant to go or how like the
Right.
best way is to have a business.
Yeah, and I think with us being in this mastermind as well, I think we're really learning that like there isn't a particular way, right? There's several ways of doing all these different things, sales and marketing and like lead generation. Like there's so many ways, but you've got to find your way, what works for you, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's one of the things that's really been highlighted to me, right? And now it's like every single one of us are on this journey trying to figure out what is the right way for every single one of us.
Mhm. I think one of the really important lessons I learned
Mm.
in my sales career in investment management, and it's a mistake I see again and again and again,
Ah,
is if you're selling to someone, selling
yeah.
and serving, first of all, it's not sleazy or anything like that. You
Mhm.
have to listen, and people never listen to what the problem is that their customer is having or client is having. So they never really match what they have to what they need. And
Mm.
that's where the friction happens. And I've noticed I'm a very good observer. So I watch a lot. I'm like, what is working? What isn't working? And one of the biggest shocks to me, and it's so naive, like, when you look back and you think you're an idiot. So when I decided to launch my own business,
Mhm.
I was so scared about talking on LinkedIn about it because I thought everyone in my old career is going to think, who the hell does she think she is?
Oh,
She's, suddenly this digital marketing expert. She has no experience of it because she's always been doing like investment sales and all that kind of thing. And I remember reaching out to people in the
mm.
DMs saying, oh, I've seen this on your website. I think this would, have you tried this? And like unsolicited advice, number one, never do it because no one wants to know.
Right.
But I had always worked at global names in
Ooh,
companies,
right.
and our sales teams weren't like cold selling ever because we already had relationship managers at all our clients. It was never that I had to ever approach anyone cold. But if
Yeah.
I suddenly said, "Oh, I'm from this company," the door opened. I didn't have to work that hard. Like
Mm.
as soon as you said I work for this person or this company, they'd take a call, they'd go for coffee with me, whatever. Suddenly, I'm Aggie, and everyone's like, "Who the hell are you? You are no
Right.
one. Why should they give me their time? Everyone is
Mm.
busy, and no one owes you a favor." And that is what I learned very quickly. And it sounds so naive that I thought that people would just like jump on a call with me or even reply to my emails. That was a shock. But now I
Wow.
get that. I get people
Yeah.
like expecting me to drop everything to come into London for a coffee with them. And I'm like, I just don't have time to do that. Like, tell me what you need, and if I can help you, I will. I actually had someone like that today, and it was like an ex-colleague from my city days. And I really like this person. I was like, can you just let me know what you need? Like, if I can help you, I really will.
Right.
And then we had a call. It took me 10 minutes. And then he went away with an answer. And I was like, that just saved me half a day going into London, having a coffee, and then coming all the way back again.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
I'm really harsh, don't I? But I'm just like, I've got
No,
so
no,
little
not at
time.
all.
I'm like, I have to be so strict with where it goes.
Absolutely. Like, this is the thing. When you're first starting out, you are one person that's doing it all. You're wearing many hats, right, in your business, but that's not all. That's not all, right? A lot of us, if not every single one of us, right, are also wearing many hats outside of our business in our personal lives, right? Because we are mothers, we're wives, we're daughters, we're sisters, we're everything, right? To everyone that's around us, as well as our clients. And so the story of you actually starting out and building your business, it's been a journey,
Mhm.
right? But there's also the fact that you've had a baby,
Two.
right?
Got two now.
Oh my goodness. Okay, right, yeah. Right. So you've had two babies in that time, right? You've launched a business, right, that you weren't expecting to launch during the pandemic,
Hmm.
but you've also had some devastating news as well,
Yeah,
right?
so last year my brother passed away because of his battle with cancer, which was horrendous for all of us. Like my whole family's still reeling from it. And again, it just I think these things always make you reassess what's going on in your life, like what's important. I'd literally just had a baby. My baby was 3 weeks old when my brother passed away. So it was like such like a happy time and devastating time in that month for my family. And I just took stock. I was on maternity leave at the time, and I was like, what do I actually want? Like, is this all worth it? Like, am I gonna turn around in 5 years and be like, that was like a good 5 years well spent? Like, did I prioritize the right things? Am I in good health? Are my kids happy? Is my marriage stable? You know, are my parents
Mm.
okay? And I was like, I'm happy, like everything's okay for me, but I think it's time for me just to like really show what I've got in me, like not to go like half measure, let's just go for it. So
Yeah.
that's when I was like, right, I need a mentor. I need someone because I don't know anyone, like no one in my family is an entrepreneur. I don't
Mm.
really know anyone that has a wildly successful business. And I was like, I need to be in the room with people that are super ambitious, really talented at what they do, and they really are making a change in the world. I want to be around those like world changers, which sounds really corny, doesn't it?
Absolutely not. That's what we
I
all
want to
want
be around like
secretly.
that dynamic energy where anything's possible. Like I don't have time for negative people. Like if you want to do something, of course it's not going to be easy. Like nothing worth having is easy, but you find a way to do it. And no matter how much you get kicked, you will find a way to get it to happen. So I was like, right, I need to find a mastermind, and there are so many rubbish ones around, like so
Yes,
many
they are.
snake oil salesmen around or saleswomen, whatever. I'm gender neutral on that because it's on both sides. And I had been following Lisa for a couple of years because she's in the online space and I am. And I was like, right, let's just see. And I saw she was promoting a mastermind.
Mhm.
I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to actually message her. Oh, what? This is actually quite scary. So I sent her a DM and I was like, oh, I'm really interested in hearing more about your mastermind. She was like, and she all she replied was, which one? And I was like,
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know there was more than one. I thought there was just one. I was like, the one you've just posted about. She was like, okay, well, let's book a call. Like, I'll get someone to send you a link. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, holy sugar ball. I was like, that is
Wait,
like,
so how did you know, right? Because there are so many of them around. How did you know this was the mastermind that you had to be on, that this is what you wanted?
so I've been having my eye and I've kind of been thinking that this year would be the year I invested in myself, like properly.
Mm.
So I've had my ear to the ground about masterminds and hearing what other people are doing. And to be honest, all the ones I heard about were all about mindset, which is obviously really important. And I'm really glad that we've got a mindset coach in Lisa's mastermind. But I literally just needed someone to say, don't do that, do this. Like you're going to waste your energy doing that. That's not financially viable. You need to do this and this and this. Or have you just thought about this and this and this? And I have to say, like one of the benefits of the mastermind, which I did not anticipate when I joined at all, and it wasn't even on my radar, this would be a side effect. My world has been opened to so many possibilities just by the people in that mastermind because everyone's in a different industry. I'm the only digital marketing person in there, and
Right.
everyone has made money doing different things. There's opportunity, there's literally money everywhere.
There is.
Like when you see the opportunities around, it's more the challenge is understanding where to focus your energy and how long to focus it there. That is the honestly the biggest thing. So
Mm.
I remember booking this call and I was terrified. I was so terrified. I was like, oh, I went on the call and Lisa was amazing. She was so lovely.
Yeah.
And she was like, why do you actually want to join this? I was like, I need to be in a room with
Hold a
people.
second. So Lisa actually got on a call with you, not one of her team.
Yeah, I spoke with Lisa.
Wow. Okay, see, that's rare in itself.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. I've
Most
literally
of
just
the
learned
time,
that now.
yeah, most of the time you'll have someone else on the team. You never find that the CEO, the founder, the creator, right, is the one that actually gets on the call, right? So that in itself speaks volumes.
Because the thing is, I know this probably sounds arrogant. I know I'll make money, like big money at some stage.
Yeah.
That isn't like I know that I've got it in me to do that, and I know my business is going to be an amazing, successful company. I'm still really early in it now. But I just know that my network isn't like the strongest because I've never really had to have a business network because I've always been in a really specific niche in finance. So I was like, I just need to be around people that share my mindset, that are, looking to grow something incredible. And I said that to Lisa. I didn't mention money once, and she did actually say since, hasn't she? Like anyone that talks about money did not get in.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just really craving never being judged when I talk about things that I'm doing in my business, that I can talk openly about challenges that I'm having and just have that support network and also different perspectives. Like if you've got a problem, literally everyone in that mastermind will come up with a different solution for you.
It's
And I
very
love
true.
that because you can kind of get into a bit of what's it called? When you're like tunnel vision, that's it, because everyone around you is doing exactly the same thing. And it's like, well, it's not working. Like, we need to try something different. So that's why I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about what you do, right? These
Okay.
Facebook ads, because even I'm learning things, right? Because I'm like, I guess I've been like with most people saying, like, they're saying Facebook ads don't work anymore, right? Like, Facebook has changed so much. It's not working the way you used to. There's no point in putting money in. But you've given me a different insight. Yeah, it does work, but you've got to make sure you're being strategic and you've got to know what you're doing. And you've got to know your numbers. And then this whole meta ads. And I'm like, okay, now I have no clue. You've like totally lost me. Right? So could you explain a little bit about what's going on with Facebook and what is this whole meta ads that people are talking about?
Okay. So first of all, completely normal response. And this is the thing as well, which is really
Mhm.
refreshing to me because I'm always around people that do ads, and I'm doing this in
Yeah,
inverted commas for anyone that isn't watching the video. I kind of forget that it's not normal that people don't know,
right.
So that's good that I'm reminded that it's not a normal conversation. Even my husband's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So basically, digital advertising, all the online ads. So Meta is basically Facebook and Instagram. It's the parent company for
Ah,
Facebook and Instagram. And anytime that you're on your phone or on your computer and you're on Facebook or Instagram and you see those ads pop up, sometimes you can tell they're ads really quickly. Other times they kind of just blend in. My company will manage those ads. So I work as a partner with lots of brands selling products. So we work specifically with e-commerce companies and we will support them in running profitable campaigns for their companies.
okay. Oh, I love that. Okay. And so the only difference is basically is Instagram and Facebook running together at the same time simultaneously. So all of a sudden, actually, you're broadening your audience. Is that right?
You literally give money to Meta and then
Yeah.
they will distribute the money across their platforms. And basically, their AI, their algorithm, is the most sophisticated algorithm in the world.
No way. I didn't know that.
Meta has the largest ad platform. It overtook Google this year. Oh,
Stop.
yeah, it's like such a powerful machine. And it is incredible. It is honestly, it changes businesses advertising on there. And I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. It's so
Okay.
powerful.
So I've got to ask you this question because I'm thinking it, and I'm probably a lot of other people listening to this or watching this is thinking it as well. So if it's that really good and that powerful, that kind of sounds scary too, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
right,
Don't don't be scared, be prepared. That's my that's my slogan. I'm running with it.
okay. And so do you teach people on how to do this themselves, or do you do this for people?
Both.
Oh, awesome.
So my agency has a done for you service. So we will work with e-commerce brands to completely take control of it with the it's a collaboration. We work with the brands to
Yeah.
get their ads running as best as they can. I also do consultancy with brands. So I will work with the in-house teams or with the founders to support them in their strategy. And I'm not sure when this episode's coming out, but I will be launching the first ever UK accredited Facebook ads course in September. So
Ooh.
you will be able to get accredited as a Facebook ads manager from
Oh,
September.
no way.
Yeah.
Oh, that is super cool. And I guess once you've been, well, I guess when people are accredited, and that's something that people can actually promote and advertise themselves as well, right? So it kind of leverages their authority too.
Absolutely. So, either in-house teams, you can invest in your team in-house to learn how to manage ads, or maybe you want a career change too, like I had, and you want to upskill and do something different. It's perfect for that as well.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, I have been scrolling through your socials.
I'm so worried about this. I've no
No,
idea what you found.
you don't need to worry at all, right? It's all good things. It's all good. And I do love your socials, by the way, right? Like the posts that you put up there, they're really hilarious. They're funny, right? But it gets you kind of interested. Like I keep scrolling, like I want more. I want more, right? I want to see more of these things. And so, first of all, like you clearly know what you do when it comes to ads, right?
Yeah.
Because you're getting if I'm getting that kind of intrigue or wanting to know more, that's what everyone else is doing, right? So that's clearly you've got that totally on point. But you mentioned, right, there's 3 reasons you'll regret running meta ads. What's that all about? Why would you regret it?
So that is an example of an incredible hook. Okay,
Ah,
so hook is what sucks you into looking at some content. And it was actually the reasons why you won't regret it. So, you'll be ahead of your competition, you'll make sales while you
right.
sleep. And I can't actually remember what the third reason was, but yeah, like from that post, but you won't regret it. If you prepare properly, you will have an amazing experience with your ads.
Okay, all right. See, okay. So I like that. That was a hook to get people sunk in, wanting to know more, but actually it's the reverse,
Yeah,
right?
reverse psychology.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Okay. I gotta say, Aggie, you clearly know what you're doing here, right? You clearly know what you're right. That was good. That was good because that's the first one that I spotted. I was like, whoa, well, why would Aggie put that post up? That was awesome. Now, there's another one that you mentioned about having an ad strategy, right? And how that's really important. But what does an ad strategy involve? What does it mean?
Really good question, and I do get asked this a lot. So the whole point of having a strategy is that you're intentional when you run your
Mm,
ads. So you do your prep work, and obviously I work with brands to make sure they're ready to run ads. But then it's like, what are your business goals? Like, what are you trying to achieve? Now, a lot of e-commerce brands that I work with, like, we just want more money, like we want to make more sales.
right.
Obviously, like everyone wants to make more money. I'm like, okay, well, how are we going to do that? So the strategy behind that is, what are your best sellers? Do you have something that's called like a gateway product, which is basically maybe it's a really low cost product, but you can see from your past buyers that they then go to buy a lot of other things because they had that introduction to your brand. Or maybe you have like you want to prepare for Christmas, like Q4 selling. So you'll invest in ads to build your email list because it's cheaper to sell to your email list during the most expensive time of year
Yeah.
than run ads. So there's all these different like strategies that you would put in place, and that's what I'm referring to there.
I love that. And so I'm assuming that there's different strategies work with different people. Like there isn't one strategy that works for everyone. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, things that could impact your strategy will be things like, how much do people spend with you each time they purchase? So, for example, a shampoo like hair care company, maybe they'll spend $30, £30 with you that first time, but you won't really make your money back on that investment in ads until they buy from you 2 or 3 times. And that's your lifetime value of your customer. So, understanding your customers that way, you can
Mhm.
calculate your investment in your ads. I
Ah,
mean, some companies, so another one of our clients is a luxury furniture company, and their products sell for £10,000. So there's a different approach to selling £10,000 furniture versus shampoo for like $30. So
right.
understanding how you sell those things, how you market those things long term as well, because it's all about the sustainable business model, not just a cash and grab, as I say.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now, Aggie, you did mention to me that for our audience that are listening or watching to this episode, that you have a little gift for us. Is that right? Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
have. So it's called a Meta Ads Starter Kit. So whether you are already running ads or you're ad curious, as I say, then I would definitely recommend downloading it. So basically, it is a toolkit. It's a Notion board, and there's links to all the resources I use with my own clients. So how to set up a business, like all the tech setup, how you do that, some examples of great ads and ad copy, how how to actually see if your ads are working. So it really will just give you a flavor of how the ads work. And then depending on how you feel about it, you can decide whether ads are for you and you want to invest further.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Guys, we are going to be having the links in the show notes, so make sure you do scroll down. Aggie, I feel like I can speak to you forever, right? Like,
I love talking. I can't help it.
no, it's all good stuff. Like, I'm loving the golden nuggets that you're dropping. It's so freaking awesome. And guys, like, there's so much more that you can learn from Aggie. Like, please reach out to her, connect her with her social, that go through her social media, because what she does is exactly what she teaches her clients, right? So learn from her and watch how she actually progresses and goes on this journey herself, because you're going to learn so much. And make sure you get that free gift, because that is especially created for all of you guys listening and watching this episode. Aggie, once again, thank you so much for coming on to this show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You are a rock star. Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.